By the 1920s and 30s, a conventional wisdom had developed in Hawaii, crudely put as too many Japanese. In the mind of the American president, three different categories of people: citizens of Imperial Japan, immigrant aliens from Japan, and Americans of Japanese ancestry represented one and the same thing.
Once a Jap, always a Jap was an expression that cut into us like a knife.
As much as we would hate to see a war between the United States and Japan, it would be much easier for us, I think, if such an emergency should come, to face the enemy, Japan.
As much as we would hate to see a war between the United States and Japan, it would be much easier for us, I think, if such an emergency should come, to face the enemy, Japan, than to stand the suspicions and criticism constantly leveled against us. Why should we, who are American citizens, owe allegiance to Japan? We have never been there. We don't speak the language. We know only one country, one flag.
The parents who taught Shigeo Yoshida about loyalty were from samurai families in Japan who lived by loyalty. Shigeo's father had laid down his swords as part of Japan's drive for modernization. He had migrated to Hawaii in hopes of regaining status in the overseas plantation community, but instead had come to depend on his 8 children for status. At an early age, Shigeo became widely known for his mastery of writing and debate, and for his willingness to speak freely in public.
We were forced to attend Japanese language schools by parents. I must confess, I didn't learn much. For me, those 6 years were more like 3. That's how often I played hooky.
People talked about Hawaii's Japanese problem as if it undoubtedly existed. Nearly 40% of Hawaii's population was of Japanese ancestry, 160,000 people, compared to 1% on the West Coast. And that was why the main security concern of the U.S. government was not the West Coast, but Hawaii.
The international scene grew steadily worse. Relations between Japan and the United States became more and more strained, and there was a growing feeling of distrust, a rising tenseness which was unmistakable. Wild rumors coursed through Honolulu to the effect that the white firms were dismissing their Japanese employees, and that the army was constructing concentration camps for the internment of Japanese nationals.